Hi there, this is Matt, and today we are talking about health problems. So, when we describe the bad things that happen to our body, one very common expression is aches and pains. Now, this is a vocabulary quiz, and I will give you some answers to help you. We normally use this expression, aches and pains, to describe the pain that young children feel, or as our body gets older, we tend to find we have more aches and pains. Okay, so these first pictures, there are three or more different ways to describe these types of aches and pains. So what's your guess? Okay, so the first way is sore. We can say, I have a sore back, or my shoulder is sore. But there are other ways to describe these type of aches and pains, and a simple way is to say I feel pain. I have a pain in my back, or my shoulder is in pain. So my shoulder is in pain. The last way that we're going to look at describing this type of feeling is to say that I have an ache. So please note the pronunciation is the k sound, ache. Now, an ache is more of a long-term or ongoing problem, something that we feel over a period of time. So, for example, oh, I have a backache, or my back aches, my back is aching. We can use both of those verb tenses. All right. This is a very common problem. What do you think it is? I have a stomachache. The next problem is even more common. This is a headache. Headache. A particular type of ache or pain in our head, but in a special location, our ear, is called an earache. Earache. All right, we can also have aches and pains in our mouth. In particular, we can have a toothache. Toothache. All right, this ache and pain is a little bit more difficult to describe. So, if our muscles contract, that means the muscles go tight. They feel pain because they are tightening, contracting. We call this type of pain a cramp. Cramp. Cramp is a type of muscle ache or pain. Now, if we do damage to the joints between our muscles or our bones, we call these type of pains a strain or a sprain. So first of all, a strain is when the joints between our tendons, the parts that join our muscles, are in pain. This is called a strain. The second one is when we do an injury to the joints between our bones. This is a sprain to the ligament. So the ligament is the join or the connection between our bones. Strain or sprain. As you can see, these are very common sports injuries. Okay, now what if we have a headache that is so bad that we can't do anything? We call this type of headache a migraine. Migraine. I hope nobody here gets migraines. All right, now sometimes our body protects us by showing us that a muscle or a tendon is damaged. If the muscle or tendon inside one of our muscles becomes inflamed, we call this tendinitis, or it can also be spelled in two different ways, but the pronunciation is the same, tendinitis. So as you can see in the picture here, the muscle inside has become red and inflamed. Okay, now the next ache and pain is a particular cramp. This cramp feels like we have pins stuck into our muscles, and we call this pins and needles. Pins and needles. All right, as we get older, we may have aches or pains in between our joints, especially in our hands. This type of pain is called arthritis. Arthritis. I hope you don't get arthritis as you get older. Now, especially for sports people or people working on computers, if we use a muscle or a part of our body too much, we can get an ache or pain in this particular area. As this type of pain is very common in tennis players, we call it tennis elbow. Tennis elbow. Now, unfortunately for women, every month they will get this type of pain. So this is called period pain. As an English teacher who's been working with people from different cultures for many years, women from Eastern countries are much more likely to talk about their period pain. Period pain. Now, if part of our body becomes inflamed so that it increases in size, it gets bigger, we say that this body part is swelling or is swollen. This is a picture of a swollen hand. Now lastly, if our skin is itchy, then we might describe this as an itch, and where there are lumps or bumps in the skin, we call this a rash. So, a final tip. Remember to practice the words that you don't know so that you save time to study other important things. Hopefully, this has helped you today, and hopefully you don't have any problems with any of these aches and pains in the future.